Good afternoon. This is a test from TIPPEN Gymnasium on the campus of Clarion, Penn West Clarion. It is Coach John Calipari court. Today's game at 5:30 will be the California women's team taking on the Clarion Golden Eagles. This is a test for 91.9 FM, WCAL's live feed. Approximately 10 minutes and 20 seconds until tip-off of tonight's first game of a doubleheader. You'll be watching it live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network. The link has been tweeted out to the CUTV_PA account. We have a crew of about 7 people on the road here for Clarion. Again, we are testing the audio feed back at California's 91.9 FM, WCAL Power 92, Calu's best music. Once again, the game between the California women and the Clarion Golden Eagles women will tip in approximately 9 minutes and 40 seconds. We will stand for one more. Once again, you'll hear the call from Addie Mann and John Sape coming up in approximately 9 minutes. The games will be live on the internet as well as the radio. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Hello everyone and welcome to TIPPEN Gymnasium here on the campus of Penn West Clarion. I'm Addie Mann, joined alongside the voice of Vulcan Sports, who you're also going to see the face of here tonight, Mr. Jonathan Sape. Sape, how are we feeling here tonight?
I'm feeling good, you know. I had a couple classes today, was feeling good, and had a nice drive, jam-packed in the backseat of the car with Nate and Hunter, and it felt good. It was
Kia Soul.
And all three of us jam-packed in the back of Kia Soul. It was feeling good. I'm having fun, and I'm really excited for today's game.
Definitely. This is one of my favorite gymnasiums here at Clarion. Going to get ready for another PSAC West matchup for you guys with the California Vulcans facing off against the Golden Eagles for Clarion. We're going to call, I've been calling this week the Penn West trifecta because we have Clarion here today, and then Saturday we'll be up in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back games against the sister schools of Penn West. I mean, it's to figure out who the best Penn West school is, you know. That's just that's the goal for the Vulcans this week, and if we are going off the first time these two teams played, the Vulcans definitely have a better say in that regard.
Yes, last time these two teams matched up against each other was January 4th, 2023.
4 weeks ago today.
4 weeks ago. Oh, there you go. That was, I'm assuming that was back at the Convocation Center.
It was.
Okay, just making sure.
Everyone was home. It was like me and Johnny, I think, and Braxton was there.
Oh, was that the winter break game?
Yeah, it was during the break.
That makes sense. By the way, if you're confused about why we don't have any lights right now, they just dimmed them in terms of player introductions here in TIPPEN Gymnasium. There's no power outage, just so you know. But anyway, we'll get back to what we were talking about. January 4th was the last time these two teams squared up against each other. California beat the Golden Eagles 53-43.
Yeah, it was a good game for the Vulcans that time, and I have a couple of standout performers from that one that I wrote down on my little notebook here. Rejo Fink, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in that game. And then also a noteworthy performance from Alicia Harris, who had 4 blocks in that game. And the Vulcans don't get many blocks in the season. I believe they're dead last in the entire PSAC in blocks in total for the whole season. But Alicia Harris got 4 in that game.
I mean, defense has always been California's strong suit. Coach Strum preaches her defense when it turns into play here. But lately, and especially if you've shouted out and watched Coach Strum show this past week, they've been really hyping up their offensive efforts, especially with making some key three-point shots we've seen lately.
Yeah, they've been on fire, and leading that has been Hallie Harrington. I have some stats written down as well. In her last 6 games, averaging about 17 points per game, and as well shooting 44% from 3, which is pretty good.
I mean, what we've seen a lot, and I'm tempted to see if we're going to see this here later this evening, is teams underestimating Harrington's ability from the 3 line and just leaving her wide open. Anytime she has an open shot, almost always she drains it. I don't want to commentate curse, but it's been pretty automatic.
Yeah, she's been automatic. As of late, before we get into it, we can take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. For your Vulcans, the same starting 5 as always: Lloyd, Harrington, Smith, Harris, and Fink will be the 5 for the Vulcans. And then for the Golden Eagles, it'll be Bermudez, Smith, Brock, Box, and Haddad will be the starting 5 here for the Golden Eagles.
And we're going to get things underway shortly here at TIPPEN Gymnasium on Coach Calipari Court.
I have a few more fun stats if you want to
let's hear
talk about it. The last game out for both teams, Vulcans, big win on Saturday against UPJ, 67-58. Harrington in that game, 18 points. Alicia Harris, 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And Sierra Lloyd, 12 points and 9 assists in that game. And then for Clarion, they're on a 6-game losing streak, have been finding themselves out of the win column and kind of slowly falling their way down the ranks of the PSAC West. And their last game was a 77-68 loss to the Rock of Slippery Rock. In that game, Bermudez had 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists.
And we're going to get things underway here. Harris to take that opening tip, and it will be won by your California Vulcans. And we are underway here at Penn West Clarion. Sierra Lloyd's going to take it across the logo here. She's trying to find an open lane here. Pulls up, back door, and drains it for an opening 2-shot.
Sierra Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd, excuse me, I just got tripped over everything. And Lloyd, nice to see her getting on the scoring sheet early. Usually takes a little bit later to get that first basket, but if she's able to get rolling early, it's going to be a very, very tough game for Clarion.
Clarion trying to find a way to make some space against that pressure defense from your California Vulcans. Haven't been able to get much in the paint, just playing hot potato from the 3-point line. Smith has it on top. She's trying to find a lane of her own right. Goes in for 2 and matches it.
A great drive that time by Smith. Was working against Harris, able to get a little bit inside leverage as Clarion tipped that ball out of bounds on the inbound attempt, but also a great finish by Smith. Usually you see players go with the left hand there as they're making that angle towards the glass, but use the right instead, and then kind of just turned her body and able to just flick it up and in.
And now Harrington's going to take it across the timeline here. Harrington, no stranger to conducting that offense. Harrington now for three and gets it to go.
I mean, like we talked about, you can't give her that much space. You can't give her any space at all as of recently. And it's really been since that game at Gannon where she really started to take this offensive load more and more. And since then, like I talked about, she's been on fire.
Clarion has it back on their side of the court, trying to match it with the opening three. Now trying to find a lane, going deep, leaving Smith wide open. Smith doesn't take the shot, goes in for instead. Can't get it go, but will get the foul. The foul will get called against Smith and beat California.
And that time Harrington doing it on both ends of the court, able to knock down the three on one end, and on the other end she takes the charge. She gets her feet set in the paint and takes that charge from Smith, who will pick up her first foul of the game.
Harrington now going to take it across the timeline here. California has it, finds Sierra Lloyd in the paint, and Sierra Lloyd gets it to go.
Yeah, beautiful find that time by Smith. Lloyd not taking the ball up the court, which is not something that we usually see, and then just cutting off ball, and Smith with a beautiful pass to find it.
Brock has it, passes it off in the lane here. Fink gets a hand on it now. Harrington causes the jump ball there, and the possession will favor Clarion.
Great defense that time by Harrington. Once again, gets switched onto the bigger player from Clarion, and then does a good job of just getting her hands on top of the ball and forcing the jump ball instead of allowing the shot or even drawing the foul.
Bermuda signals to go back on the top of the key here. 17 seconds on the shot clock, so they do have time to get a play going here in the first quarter. The old pass and go from the timeline here, going down, final lane. Miscommunication on the pass. Bermuda tries to save it, can't get it to go. It'll be California's ball.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. Bermudez kind of looked like she was just trilling in it in slow motion, but it wasn't really her fault. Smith thought Bermudez was in one spot, she was in the other, and then there's just no way she's getting to that ball.
California to take it back the other way now. Clarion really stepping up the defensive effort here to Fink now at the top of the key. Harris to Fink once again. Fink's now trying to drive and down the lane. Triple team covered, and Clarion comes down with it. Clarion now barreling back the other way. Big defensive stop for the Golden Eagles, and speak of another defensive stop for California. Smith drops it off to Sierra Lloyd. Sierra Lloyd threads the needle to Fink, and Fink bounce passes it to Harris, and will get the foul called in her favor.
She also finishes the basket, which is the best part, and that just all stemmed from a great defensive play on the other end. Smith able to steal that pass away, and then on the other end, the Vulcans love to make that one extra pass. Lloyd found Fink inside. Fink could have taken the shot, but decided to pass it off to Harris, who had an even better one.
Ava Haddad for Clarion, my apologies there, with that foul call, as California is able to convert on the and one. And now Clarion wasting no time here, coming back on their own right, trying to erase some of this California lead. Bermudez debates the shot, doesn't, takes it, kicks it out now to the outside. Still on the outside is Smith now, bounce pass to the charity stripe. Clarion's really struggling to try and find some open space against this California defense. Now a three-pointer and nothing but net for Ava Haddad for Clarion.
Haddad just left a little bit too much space out there, and that time the Vulcans just needed to do a better job at coming back and finding her after she trailed off after the screen.
Sierra Lloyd tried to do it all herself, kicks it out to the outside, no good off that shot, but they come down with the board. That's Raja Fink to Sierra Lloyd. Sierra Lloyd pulls up from the charity stripe, off the rim there, and Fink tries to get it again, but they call the foul on that one.
Foul number 23 for the Golden Eagles.
And that's why I was waiting to see who the foul is called on. That one's going to go against Olivia Box, number 23 for Clarion. So 3 fouls already in this quarter, and that time she just got her hands all over Raja Fink as she pulled in that offensive board.
And now Vulcans able to convert there, Alicia Harris. Now Clarion going back the other way here. Clarion wasting no time, trying to find some space. They've been struggling with this so far, but they've been really good at being creative, and that's going to be a no-good shot from the Golden Eagles. And Brock was the no-good shot there, and now Sierra Lloyd has it going back the other way for California. Harris has it on the top, jumps it off back to Lloyd. Harrington was singling for the 3-shot, and now Fink trying to make some space for her, and that pass is going to go towards the Clarion cheer squad.
I mean, it was the right idea. Right idea, wrong execution. That time Lloyd kind of directing traffic, trying to get Fink to where she wanted her to be, dumped it down inside where Fink had the positioning, but that pass was just a little bit too far away from her.
Now back on the Clarion side, tried to get something with a screen, unsuccessful there, and that pass almost stolen by Sierra Lloyd, and a great shot there. And that's Ava Haddad once again for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, very unlucky that time from the Vulcans, as that pass Haddad nearly able to slip away from her, and Lloyd was right there to swoop and just try to steal that one away. But good job by Haddad corralling that one in and able to finish even with Harrington around.
Now Harrington for 3, and she gets it to go. You know Harrington's not missing it.
Haley Harrington for 3.
Safe's just speechless
I
up
mean,
here.
what do you do? What are you going to do? I mean, doesn't matter where, she's just running all over the court, just knocking down every 3. I don't know.
I was waiting for you to provide insight, and I just looked over and saw you were speechless. And Harrington, I'm waiting to see. Harrington got a hand on it, and they're going to. I'm waiting to see what the official call is, because Harrington caught it, threw it off a Clarion player, and a media timeout will be called. Still not 100. They're going to call possession for California on that.
And that'll send us to our first media timeout. While we have a second, we can take a look at the tail of the tape coming into this game. And on the offensive end of things, both teams very different on the spectrum. Vulcans 9th in the PSAC in total in offense, score about 67.6 points per game. Then on the defensive end, they're 7th, where they gave up 61.7 points per game. And then for the Golden Eagles, like we talked about, they've been struggling, and it's been on the offensive end. 17th out of 18 teams in the PSAC in scoring per game, only scoring 53.1 points per game. On the defensive end, a little bit better in 14th, where they give up 66.7 points per game. But just this offensive end has been a real struggle for Clarion this season. And when you go up against a team like the Vulcans, like the defense that Jess Strom and the Vulcans like to run, I mean, those numbers aren't going to get much better at all.
It is 15-7 here in TIPPEN Gymnasium, and possession will be for California. Some confusion as deciding if Harrington was out of bounds before it hit a Clarion player, but they're going to say it was off on Clarion. So we're back at it.
I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, but I believe when we were here last year, when Finn and I were doing the game last year, the Vulcans held Clarion scoreless in the third quarter.
Really?
I'd have to look at it. It was one of the games last year against Clarion where the Vulcans held them scoreless in the third quarter.
I definitely remember it being another Wednesday night here, as Fink is now in the paint trying to make some space, and what a move by Rage of Fink.
I mean, just like Harrington knocking down threes, Fink just eats in the post, and that time got to her spot, had a nice spin move to get there, and then uses that right-hand hook effectively to just get the ball over the smaller defender and able to get it to go in.
And Fink once again able to steal that one from Clarion, and now Harris got it and handed it off to Sierra Lloyd. Sierra Lloyd now slowing things down here. Sierra Lloyd finds Harris, finds Smith now. Little miscue on the pass, and now to Fink, and gets it to go once again.
And once again, it starts with the defense on the other end. The Vulcans send a double team Harrington and Fink, able to just collapse, steal the ball away, and then on the other end, great finds. One extra pass is all it takes, and Fink gets another easy basket.
Now Haddad tries to find Smith in the middle, able to save it from going out of bounds, and Smith's going to reset, kicks it out to Bermudez. Bermudez now looking for an open man on the outside here. Clarion trying to find some space, pulls up for 3 as the shot clock was winding down, and Fink got the board, slipped up, and it will be out on Fink.
Just an unlucky mistake there, because she thought that maybe it got hit as it was going out, but just took the dribble off the line. Clarion do make substitution into the game, will be coming number 12, Bailey Mastrasia, the junior guard out of Pittsburgh, PA, went to Seton LaSalle. Not a fake. I remember when we played Seton LaSalle in soccer, they always destroyed us. So
I'll trust you. I'm not from, I don't know as much about the high schools here. I can tell you about colleges. But anyway, we're going to get back to the action here. Clarion now on the offensive effort. Pull up for 2 off the iron, and Fink will come down with it for the Vulcans.
And once again, great rebound by Fink. Had 3 Golden Eagles in the area, all just calling for it. And Lloyd nearly crosses herself up over there.
Passes it off to Harrington, now to Harris in the paint. Back to Harrington to Lloyd. Lloyd wanted the shot, wasn't there, kicks it out to Smith. Smith trying to find the lane of road to Fink. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Clarion really stepping up their defensive effort here. And now Sierra Lloyd gets tripped up, throws it up anyway. Oh my goodness. What a shot that was. It's going to go out of bounds, waiting to see where the possession will, and it will be California's ball.
Yeah, that time Clarion upped the pressure. It was at like maybe 5 before. They upped it to 20 there and forced the Vulcans into a difficult possession. Luckily, they were able to get it off the rim, so they were able to get a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
You did say that defense was the best part of this Golden Eagles team, and we just saw it there on this play. Now Harris has it, kicks it out to Smith. Smith wide open for 3, off the money there. Fight for the board. Fink gets it and able to save it. And now Sierra Lloyd trying to find a pass. Gonna slow things down here for a second. 15 on the shot clock. Lloyd now to Smith. Smith at the top of the key trying to find a lane, and it gets tripped up. And Harris is able to save it. Harrington now for 3, 6 seconds left. Off the board, fight for it, saved from going out of bounds by the Eagles. I gotta say Golden Eagles, because if I say Eagles, I'm gonna think about my birds. Go Birds. Anyway, Bermudez has it, trying to find a lane of her own. Kicks it out. Harrington got a hand on it. Now Fink is gonna call the jump ball. Possession to California.
Yeah, sloppy pass that time in transition from Bermudez. Had the step on her defender, was trying to drive inside, lost her dribble and kind of just floated it over there and assumed that a Golden Eagle would be over there, and there was, but Hallie Harrington was also there and just forces that jump ball and gets the ball back into the hands of the Vulcans.
Now Sierra Lloyd taking it back the other way here, dumps it off to Harrington. Harrington now directing traffic a bit, has Smith wide open, and now to Sierra Lloyd. 9 seconds on the shot clock. What a sniper pass that was to Alicia Harris.
Yeah, Lloyd's vision sometimes and her ability to pass it just reminds me of a quarterback for a football team. She's able to just manipulate the defense with her eyes, gets players to move all around the court where she wants to, and just fires a bullet straight in there that time to Harris.
I always say that I feel like whenever I'm calling a Sierra Lloyd play, I'm calling a football play. And now Clarion with a 3-pointer attempt, off the money on that one. California to come down with the board. Sierra Lloyd comes barreling back the other way, has a lane, kicks it out to Harrington, a play we've seen all too much. Off the mark there, but will get a foul, waiting on officially who it's going to be on.
Also number 24 for the Golden Eagles.
It will be number 24,
First.
Allison Kirby for the Golden Eagles, sending Harrington to the line.
And with that, and where the shot was taking place as well, Hallie will be at the line to shoot 3. So didn't make the 3-point shot, but has a chance to get 3 points here.
I'm generally interested by the I know no one can see this, but there's a graphic of Baby Groot going on behind.
That was the one that I remember last year when we were here. That dancing alien.
Now there's a dancing. I'm so confused by this. I'm sorry.
It's just like when you go bowling and there's like the crazy stuff on the screen after every
but
throw.
I feel like it's like a hype thing.
I don't know. There's a cat falling now as Harrington made 2 of 2 so far. I just had a thought that today's game, you know how you talked about it's the battle for Penn West?
Yeah.
It's also to this game in particular, Battle of the Birds. Vulcan versus Golden Eagle.
That's a vulture. A Vulcan is the Greek god of the forge.
I know, but we're the birds. I know what Vulcan is. I know my mythology. He's the Roman
Vulcan's
god.
not a bird.
I know, but I'm saying like it's also a bird.
Anyway, we're going to get back to the action here and stop our. This will be a halftime discussion later. So now back on the Clarion side here. Clarion trying to find some space. Smith has it now at the top of the mark here. And now back to Smith. Smith for 3. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Off the iron. Fink comes down with it. Smith's able to get a hand on it, but able to get it off to Sierra Lloyd. Sierra Lloyd trying to do it all herself. Smith comes in, causes the jump ball. And possession to Clarion.
And great job by Smith, fighting for it the whole way. Nearly steals the pass away from Fink on the back end. Just chases down Lloyd on the other end and able to just get behind her and then able to just get a hand on that ball and force another jump ball.
Now Clarion to take it back the other way. Shot clock turned off here as we're in the last couple seconds of the first quarter. Clarion gonna try and make sure California doesn't have another shot. Smith comes into the paint here, off the mark. foul called in favor of the Golden
Also
Eagles.
number 5 for California.
That time a great drive by Smith just to get inside, force a little bit of separation from her defender, and forced Harrington to come over and try to contest, and that time Harrington just couldn't get up in time.
Now Smith to the line for 2 shots here. Senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods. And I get to say go Birds again because it works in context.
What do you know about the Marion Mercy Academy, which is where she went to high school?
I'm not 100. I know of like Upper and Lower Marion. Obviously Kobe Bryant in that vicinity, but I don't know exactly of that academy as a jump ball is called on the floor here in favor of the Vulcans.
They'll have about 5.5 seconds after they inbound, so they're going to need to try to get up the court quickly if they want to take one more shot.
Sierra Lloyd is no stranger to going quick here. Sierra Lloyd comes barreling down, throws it up, and gets it to go! Sierra Lloyd with the buzzer beater.
The bank's open today. It's already 5 p.m., but Lloyd's keeping it open late. Just runs down the court, gets double-teamed as well. She crosses half court and just chucks it, gets it to go, and the Vulcans take extend their lead even more.
That is the second buzzer beater we've seen, I think, in past 2 games. I remember Alicia Harris had one in the UPJ game going into the 4th at the end of the 3rd. So that's definitely going to bring some life into the California crowd, already leading 27-8.
And that was about as good of a first quarter as you could have asked for if you're California. And this was very similar to the first quarter that they had in the UPJ game. I remember they had a nice commanding lead early. Their problem was in that second quarter, they kind of let off the gas a little bit. They let UPJ get back into the game and made it a lot closer than what you would have expected it to be or what you would have thought if you only tuned into the first quarter and then tuned out. So California, going into the second quarter, need to kind of keep their head level, need to not be able to leave off the pressure, and need to keep going here at the Clarion Golden Eagles.
It's pretty funny. If you go on the live stats, it says 0.0 seconds Sierra Lloyd with a good 3-pointer.
We can take a look at some first quarter stats as well. Like you talked about, your score 27 for California, 8 for Clarion. The Vulcans 10 of 16 from the field, so that's a nice 62.5% shooting percentage from 3 for 6, 2 from Harrington, 1 there from Lloyd, 4 for 4 from the line, 11 rebounds as well so far for the Vulcans, 4 on the offensive end, 7 on the defensive. And it's just, this game's been all California. The Vulcans, they both even have 1 block. The Vulcans have 5 turnovers to Clarion's 1. The Vulcans only have 3 turnovers compared to Clarion's 5 so far. So everything in this game has been going the way of the Vulcans.
Now Bermudez dumps it off to the outside to Haddad. Haddad trying to find something, kicks it off to Bermudez for the 3-pointer and gets it to go with nothing but net.
And that's going to be the lifeline here for Clarion is Bermudez. In the game here last year, she was a big factor in keeping that game pretty close, even though the Vulcans were able to win. So it's going to be on her to try to get this offense rolling for the Golden Eagles once again to get back into the game.
Now Fink has it in the paint. Fink trying to pull up for 2, and another good one.
And sometimes when you're just like the good players, you know, they just get the roll. They just like get all the luck. They just get all the rolls. And that time, it didn't even look like she just got a shot. She just threw the ball towards the basket and was able to just get the bounces to get it to go in.
And now back on the Golden Eagles side, Haddad has it at the top of the key here for Clarion. Jumps it off to Smith. Smith trying to find her options here. Dumps it off to Bermudez. 7 seconds on the shot clock. You can hear the bench counting it down. Bermudez pulls up, can't get it to go. Lloyd to come down with it. And that will be out on Clarion.
Smart play that time by Lloyd. She gets the rebound and then gets double teamed and knows she isn't going to be able to get out. So she just throws the ball off of the Clarion defender's leg so it goes out of bounds.
Now we're going to get back to the action here. Sierra Lloyd crossing the timeline. Throws it out to Smith. Back to Lloyd. Lloyd finds Smith now in the paint. Sorry, that's going to be Gilliard. Now back to Harrington. And Clarion's going to get a big stop here as Bermudez comes back the other way. Great bounce pass and no good shot there, and that will be out on California, so it will be Golden Eagle ball.
Yeah, that's just a heartbreaker if you're Clarion. You need to score on that breakaway attempt. You have Brock and you have Bermudez 2-on-1, and Bermudez pass off to Brock, but good defense by Harrington to force Brock to miss that shot.
And now back on the Clarion side,
Allison Kirby.
And that's going to be Allison Kirby now with 2. 29-13 in the opening minutes of the second quarter here. Lloyd has it in the corner by the Clarion bench. Lloyd weighing her options there. 15 on the shot clock, kicks it out to Harrington, now passes it to Smith. Smith gives it right into the hands of Bermudez. And speaking of the devil, Jonathan Sabe, you called this. Bermudez is really changing the tone of this game in the second quarter. And now Clarion has it with a bunch of time on the shot clock. Now pulls up for three to cut into that California lead. And Fink's going to come down with it.
And Bermudez has been stepping up on the defensive end this time, and so California need to adjust and need to be able to keep this keep safer play with the ball.
And now Fink has it there. Great bounce pass from Smith, off the mark by Fink, but then that's going to be Alicia Young to come down with the shot.
Yeah, Young, great positioning underneath the basket, ready for that follow-up at any time, and Fink just a little bit off the mark, and Young is right there to just feed on the scraps around the rim.
And now back on the Golden Eagle side, pull up for two. That's going to be wide of the mark. 31-13, Lloyd threads the needle to Harrington. Harrington trying to find a lane off the side of the basket there. And Bermudez once again to get the board. Back on that Clarion side of the court, kicks it out to the outside. That is Brock for Clarion. Now debated the shot, didn't go for the three attempt. Kirby trying to find something in her own right.
Sierra Conley.
Sorry, that's going to be Sierra Conley credited with that shot for the Golden Eagles.
Yep, great movement that time from the Golden Eagles offense. Had some players running off the ball, and that time Conley able to slip in behind a Vulcan defender and able to just get a nice look at the basket.
And the old rainbow pass from Sierra Lloyd to Hallie Harrington. Another knockdown three-pointer.
I mean, what are you gonna do? She's got 12. She's got 12 points already. She already has almost as many points as the entire Clarion team.
Oh my God!
Like, what's she doing?
Oh
What's she
God.
doing?
Sorry, that was kind of funny. Anyway, we're gonna get back to the action here. Bermudez has it, trying to find Smith. Smith, what a pass that was! Jada Smith puts two more on the board for Clarion.
And once again, that's all Bermudez. Bermudez just able to get inside the paint. It would just force defenders to come off of their defenders or come off of them to get to her, and then it would just dump it off to Smith underneath.
And now Smith trying to make a three of her own right, and that will be Clarion to come down with it. Kirby to get that board, and now going back the other way, Smith conducting traffic, loses her dribble for a second, so she's just going to drop it off to Kirby, and now Bermudez. And they're going to reset, still have some time, 15 on the shot clock. Kirby sets the screen, and Bermudez now kicks it out to the outside to Brock. Brock trying to find a spot of her own here. Harrington on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Pull up for two, and she gets it to go.
Yeah, that time Brock just a bigger guard compared to Harrington, so just gets herself into the post and just starts backing Harrington down.
And now back on the California side, right into the hands of Bermudez. Once again, that's the third pass we've seen intercepted by Bermudez. And now a three-point attempt, and a good one that is by Sierra's Bermudez.
Yeah, she's been killing it this quarter, and it's been the real difference maker. Already in this quarter, the Golden Eagles have scored 14 points compared to the Vulcans 7.
And now back on the California side, we've seen it again. Can they do it twice in a row? And that's going to be off the mark. I think a lot of Coach Strong's playbook is just figuring out ways to get Harrington open on the three-point line and just getting it to go.
I mean, if she's shooting it like that, then you'd be dumb not to. That'd be dumb to not make that your game plan.
And now back on the Clarion side of the court, Conley has it, trying to figure out her options. Young gets a hand on it, almost stolen away by California. They're going to kick it out to Haddad. Now it's finds Smith in the paint. What a play design that was for the extra pass. And that'll be Conley with 2 points.
Yeah, in fact, Coach I'm going to call a timeout. And it's just the Vulcans coming out of this quarter a little bit rattled. 4:09 left here in the second, and they're just getting outplayed so far. The Golden Eagles 7 for 11 from the field so far in the second quarter. 2 for 3 from three. And they've forced 3 turnovers so far from the Vulcans.
I know something. Oh, we're going to get to some. Okay.
You can just keep talking.
Okay, just making sure. So something I know me and Sape have talked about a lot is about winning quarters. You know, we've always said, like, California won the first quarter, then Clarion won, then UPJ, Clarion, Edinburgh, whatever team we're versing at that point, has won the second quarter. And that's something we've seen particularly awesome, like, especially in this game. First quarter, California all day long. Couldn't miss anything, playing on both sides of the ball. And now this quarter looks like a completely different game. It's we're playing Clarion basketball, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's been flipped on its head, and it kind of just goes to show you, I mean, great teams win every single quarter. And so, but like the teams that you know that have great coaching, their specialty is coming out into the third quarter and just absolutely dominating teams, which is where we always see the Vulcans tend to have a lot of success. Last year, they scored more points than anyone in the entire PSAC in the third quarter, and they gave up the least amount of points out of anyone in the third quarter. So during that halftime adjustment, they really something clicks during that halftime talk with Coach Strom and the team, and they were just figure things out. And so. Like right now, we're seeing a storm of just Clarion pressure. But if the Vulcans are able to subdue it here in the last couple of minutes, able to just maintain the lead going into half, it's going to be in their favor coming out into the third quarter.
Lloyd now to Harrington once again. She's going to wait for the rest of the team. Pass it back to Lloyd to reset here. Lloyd to Harrington once again. And that pass is going to get tipped by Bermudez before going out.
It just seems like the defensive intensity of the Golden Eagles has started to pick up more and more. We saw it a little sprinkles of it in that first quarter, but so far in the second, it's just been all pressure, all high tempo from this Golden Eagles defense.
And now Lloyd has it with 7 seconds on the shot clock, able to find Harris. Kicks it out to Lloyd. Lloyd for three with 3 seconds left, and she gets it.
And it's a shot like that that can really just flip the game back into the Vulcans' favor. If Lloyd able to bank another three in, able to knock down another shot, it might just start to swing the momentum on the offensive side for the Vulcans back in their way.
And now back on the Clarion side, Haddad has at the top of the key, kicks it to Smith. Smith trying to find somebody, finds Brock. Debating the shot, she has some room and just goes for it, and that's going to be off the mark and in the hands of Sierra Lloyd.
That's just disrespectful from Lloyd. Brock was at the three-point line, and Lloyd basically backed up to the paint and said, shoot it. You got to shoot it, and Brock was like, all right, I will, and then Brock missed it.
Good recap. As Harrington hits the three, and that's going to be off the mark there, and the board will be by Clarion. Now Brock has it, bringing it back the other way. Haddad now in the corner trying to find some space. Fink on the defensive end. Foul called there. I believe it will be against California. Waiting for the official call. And it will be against Fink of California, sending Haddad to the line for two.
Yeah, that time great drive by Haddad. Able to just blow by Fink. It would just get a step or two on her, and then Fink just always going to have to play catch up there. And unfortunately, she picks up the foul. It's going to be on her, hopefully, that she doesn't pick up at least one more before half, because like we talked about in these last couple of games for the Vulcans, Rachel Fink has definitely been in some foul trouble going down the stretch, so you don't want her to pick up another one here before half.
Also, we had a substitution by the Golden Eagles. Smith will come out for Dominica Logue. And we are back underway here in TIPPEN Arena. And now wide open is Smith. Smith trying to find a lane, kicks it out to Harrington. Harrington pulls up for two and short. And that's going to be Haddad who comes down with it. Now Brock has it, controlling her offense back on the other side. Haddad now in the corner here. Back to Brock. Brock tries to tip it off to Haddad once again. Double team by the Vulcans. Pulls up just short of the three-point line. No good there, but Brock's able to come in and save the board. Now Haddad comes into the paint, and Fink tries to avoid the extra foul, and that will be actually on Allison Kirby to come down with it.
Yeah, and Fink did the smart thing there. Knew that Kirby was by her and knew there was no way she was going to be able to catch up without fouling her, so just pulls up, pulls out of the way, and says, you know what, you can have that free basket.
And now Harrington dumps it off to Smith. Smith loses control of it. Looked like it's supposed to be a give and go to Lloyd. Now back to Harrington in the corner. And 4 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to call kickball against California.
And that'll luckily save the Vulcans there, since it came off a Clarion player. The kickball called. The Vulcans will now get 20 seconds on the shot clock compared to the 4 that they had. So they'll be able to get the inbound in and able to run a play.
A lucky break for California, and a great pass saved by Fink. Fink gets the shot and gets the board. Going to go again and gets it on the second chance.
And that's the shot I'm talking about. Just throws it up there and just gets it to go in. I don't know if she's like mastered. She has like a doctorate in like trigonometry and like geometry and stuff. Just gets the angles all right.
Just magnetic.
It's like she has like those robot eyes. And it's like if I just throw it at this trajectory, it's just going to go in.
Now Brock has it in the corner here, and that's going to be Harris and Harrington to get a hand on it, but it will not affect Brock as she's able to drain it.
And the Vulcans played decent help defense there as Harris got a hand on it. Like you said, Lloyd got a hand on it, but great adjustment by Brock midair to just defend off that pressure and able to get a nice shot off as she was going up.
And now less than a minute left before going into halftime, 39-28 in favor of your California Vulcans. And that was going to be Bermudez who got the last tip on that before going out of bounds. So will remain California possession with 13 on the shot clock. And that's going to be Lloyd with the missed attempt. Harris comes down with the board. And now Harrington is going to do the give and go to Lloyd. Lloyd fakes it and gives it off to Fink. Now Smith, triple team, quad team. I couldn't really tell from up here, but now Sierra Lloyd has it with 4 on the shot clock. She pulls up, able to misses that, and then Harris comes down with the board and gets the foul call ultimately in favor of them.
Yeah, I mean, the Vulcans do a great job on the offensive possessions. It's just taking as much time on the clock, off of the clock as possible. They had 3 attempts there, 3 bites at it, and every single time after they got the offensive board, they took it out, tried to reset, and that going into that possession, there was about a minute and a half left. Now we're down to just under 30 seconds, so the Vulcans taking plenty of time off the clock and still have a chance to score.
And now it's going to be Harris at the line, gets the first one. The foul will be called on Sierra Conley for the Golden Eagles. And this will be Harris's second attempt here. 40-28 in favor of California. 26.6 left before halftime. Cannot convert on the second one, and that will be Clarion to go down with it. Brock has it as she crosses the timeline here. Probably going to hold off a minute, and Clarion will call a timeout with 17.5 left in the second.
And this is just a chance for both teams to kind of catch their breaths here. Clarion to draw up a decent play in the huddle to try to get a good look off, to cut into this lead. And like we talked about, it's been a very dominant quarter by Clarion. 20 points scored compared to the Vulcans 13. 9 for 15 from the field compared to the Vulcans 5 for 14. So Clarion definitely doing a better job defensively at getting stops, as well as looking at this as well. 3 turnovers for the Vulcans compared to 0 in this quarter from Clarion. So they're doing a great job at maintaining possession of the ball, not giving it away, and forcing the Vulcans into bad shots. But this all in California, and they need to get a good stop here. And like I talked about, if they're able to take a double-digit lead into halftime, and the way that Coach Strom teams come out into the third quarter, you could be talking, instead of 10 points, it could be 25-30 by the end of the third quarter.
Brock has it conducting her offense now. Smith on the defensive end for California. And that's going to be a pass by Clarion now in the paint. Triple team for California. Brock pulls up for 3, can't get it, and that's going to be Smith to come down with it, unable to get the shot off in time. And it will be 40-28 going into the half in favor of your California Vulcans. Stay tuned with us. You're watching CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and WCAL 91.9 FM, California, Pennsylvania.
Check 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TIPPEN Gymnasium here at the campus of Penn West Clarion. I'm Addie Man, joined alongside Mr. Jonathan Sape, the voice of Vulcan Sports. Sape, how you feeling here?
I'm feeling great. It was a good first half of basketball. You got to turn that back up because I cannot hear myself when you do that.
Oh, am I conducting your mic?
Yes, that one's mine.
Somehow my volume is now just through the roof.
It happens. You know what? And I think we're just going to have to deal with it because I don't know how it's going to sound on the other end if we switch it up too much.
Something changed.
Something happened. But you know what? It'll be all right. We'll get back into it. Good first half of basketball from California. Able to take the lead, 12-point lead, 40-28 into half. I do have some halftime stats that we can talk about and look at. Both teams shooting fairly well. The Vulcans obviously doing much better, especially with that lead. 15 for 30 from the field, so 50%. 5 for 11 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. 21 rebounds in that first half compared to the Golden Eagles' 10. So that's been the big difference. I mean, doubling, having twice the amount of rebounds in that first half in Clarion. But on the offensive end, 12 for 25 from Clarion, 3 for 8 from 3, 1 for 4 from the free throw line. And Clarion actually leading in turnovers, only giving up 5 in that first half compared to the Vulcans' 6. So not a large margin, but Clarion obviously doing a little bit of a better job at holding on to the basketball.
We're going to get things underway in about a minute in the TIPPEN Gymnasium here. So far, it's been all California leading the Golden Eagles 40-28. We saw the Clarion Golden Eagles making a late comeback in the second with key defensive efforts, largely in part by sophomore Sierra Bermudez. Yeah,
Bermudez doing a good job on both ends of the court for not only facilitating and knocking down shots on the offensive end, but putting high pressure on the defensive end and forcing the Vulcans into some mistakes. Also in that first half, Rachel Fink, 10 rebounds, 2 points away from another double-double.
In the first.
Almost in the first half. I mean, she was killing it. Some leaders in points for the Vulcans. Harrington leading all scores, 12 points for her. 3 for 8 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, so 50% for all you people that can do math out there. And then Lloyd with 10 points as well, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Sierra Lloyd as well, along with the 10 points, so that's been big. And then for Clarion, like you talked about, it's been Bermudez, 6 points for her, going along with 2 rebounds, an assist, a block, and 3 steals. So like you talked about, she's been a big factor at keeping this game as close as it has been, and trying to putting out that fire that the Vulcans started in the first quarter, and just keeping Clarion in the game.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because we're about to get things underway, and Fink, Lloyd, and the referee were on a mini dance party there on the timeline.
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of fun, you know, just gotta dance a little bit. They were hyped about that 3-point contest at halftime. Shout out
Drew and Craven, I believe.
Yeah, Drew and Craven for winning that. They came back first to 5, and they were able to knock them down.
Now Smith wide open for 3. What a way to start this off for the Vulcans, and that'll be off the iron. Now Bermudez going to lead the charge going back the other way. Really need to get themselves out of a hole here early. Brock has it, screen set by the Eagles. Brock now kicks it out to Bermudez once again. Back to Brock, a little hot potato action as Brock is trying to find some space. Her own spin move. Harris gets a hand on it, blocks a shot, and that's going to be Sierra Lloyd coming back the other way. Sierra Lloyd now slowing the pace of play down a bit. Kicks it out to Smith. Bounce pass now to Lloyd, finds Fink. Another bounce pass to Alicia Harris. And another good shot from Harris.
Yeah, once again, it's just the Vulcans' offense just moving so fluently and just playing all these extra passes, getting everyone involved.
And now Bermudez tries to take a 3-shotter. That's going to be off the mark there, and Harrington to come down with it. California in not slow-mo, but I'll say no rush, little nonchalant mode here as Fink passes it back to Smith. Smith now trying to find some room for herself here. And now, ironically, Smith on both actions of offense and defense, and that will be Clarion's ball prior to Smith stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, Smith versus Smith, and Smith won, you know.
But can't go wrong with it.
It was you can't get it wrong, but that time it was the Clarion Smith who won, who forced Jordan Smith from the Vulcans to step out of bounds.
Also, Jordan versus Jada Smith, so JS.
Same, hopefully their middle names better not be the same, because that'd be too weird.
And now Bermuda is trying to find some space of her own right, and that's going to be Smith who gets a hand on it. Fink now gets in there also. Jump ball called on the court. And it will be ball possession for the Golden Eagles.
You know what else I just realized? You know who else's initials are JS?
Who?
Mine.
Jonathan Sape.
And his.
And Jonathan Sakaguchi. Well,
too many people, you know.
Johnny just turned around. Anyway, we're going to get things back underway here with Clarion inbounds here. Foul called off that. I believe it's going to be against California. No, it's going to actually go against. It will go against number 22, Jordan Smith, against California. There, a little miscommunication there, but will go against Smith now. Bermuda's to inbounds it to Brock here at the three-point line. 16 seconds on the shot clock. That pass is going to be broken up by Sierra Lloyd. Now Harrington coming barreling back the other way and now slow the pace of play down a bit. Sierra Lloyd threads the, I thought she almost got intended for Fink, goes wide of the mark and then will go out of bounds.
And once again, the right idea, but just could not execute, just a little bit off on her pass. Fink was open between two defenders, but Lloyd had to fit it in there perfectly and just put a little bit too much behind it.
Now Brock has it in the corner. Harris on the defensive end for California. Kicks it out to Smith. Now Bermudez for three, and that's going to be off the rim, and Lloyd to come down with it. No pressure for the California offense as Lloyd crosses the crosses the timeline. I'm getting my metaphors all mixed up. And now Fink has it in the paint, kicks it out to Harris, back to Lloyd. Lloyd debates the shot, creates more room from Bermudez, off the money there, and Clarion will come down with it.
And a nice look that time by Lloyd, got the pump fake, got Bermudez to jump.
What a shot that was by Jada Smith. Basket will be good and will get the and one. It will be a foul against Hallie Harrington for California.
Smith a little bit slow to get up, and she took a big spill. She fell down, fell awkwardly into the underneath of the basket, just that arm going up to hoist the basket. You see she's taking her time going to the free throw line to convert that and one, but a good drive. Clarion able to get a stop on one end, and then Smith so dangerous when she's able to get a full head of steam and just get herself to the basket and just got past every one of the Vulcans players and able to finish plus the contact.
After this shot, looks like Ava Haddad is going to be coming in for the Golden Eagles. The and one attempt here for Smith. Smith now, and that's going to be off the mark. California to fight for the rebound. Harrington now has it, throws it out to Sierra Lloyd. 42-36, 52 left in the third quarter. Once again, it's been all California basketball here in the TIPPEN Gymnasium. Harris now has it at the top of the key, kicks it out to Smith. Smith weighing her options, throws it to Sierra Lloyd. Bounce pass now to Fink in the paint. Another bounce pass to Fink. Fight for it on the ground, and the Eagles will come down with it. Fink try to fight, force a jump ball once again, but it will go on the Golden Eagles side, and now going barreling back the other way. Smith gets fouled once again, trying to get a pull-up jump from underneath the basket.
Yeah, that time I thought Harris maybe got a piece of the ball, maybe able to get a block, but just got a little bit too much of the arm of Smith. But that all started on the other end. I've been talking about how well the Vulcans do with just making that one extra pass to get a better shot. But this time Brock did a beautiful job at just coming off of the backside, helping down low, and just preventing that extra pass from happening, because we know Fink likes to dump it off. She's found Harris a couple of times underneath the basket on that extra pass, so that time Brock came over and stole it away.
And now Smith with her second attempt following the first one, and that will be short of the mark. Will be able to get her own rebound here. Smith now trying to fight against Harrington and Fink, kicks it out to Brock. Brock now dumps it off to Bermudez. Kicks it out to Smith once again. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Need to get something cooking here if you're the Clarion Golden Eagles. Bermuda is short with a pull-up jumper. Fight for it, and California will come down with the board. Now we're at the 6-minute mark before going into the fourth quarter here. 42-31 to Harrington, trying to find some space, pulls up for two. That's going to be short of the mark as well. Jump ball called as they fought for the board. Possession will favor the Golden Eagles.
I think actually we're going to call a foul against Raja Fink, and maybe just going to get called for the over and back that time. But this game has very similar vibes in a very similar direction that the game one that these two teams played against each other this season went, where the Vulcans had such a commanding lead early, was really dominating the game, and kind of just let up a little bit. The game ended up in a 10-point win for Cal, which, I mean, in the end is comfortable, but with the way that it started, you're talking about a game like they played against Mansfield last week where they almost won by 50, and so Clarion doing a good job at just fighting back and not giving up.
And now back on the Clarion side, Brock has a Harrington on the defensive end for California. Brock now pulls up with 5 on the shot clock off the mark. Harrington to come down with it. Once again, 42-31, 5 minutes and some change. Sierra Lloyd conducting her offense here. Harrison comes up, sets a screen. Lloyd to Fink, pass almost stolen, now dumps it off to Smith. Gonna reset. Smith trying to find some space of her own right to Harrington, wide open for 3. Tipped by the Eagles. What a defensive save that was to prevent the 3-point attempt from Harrington. Brock now gonna slow things down a bit as the cluster made its way to mid-court. Now Bermudez in the corner here. Bermudez trying to find some open space for the Golden Eagles, able to get 2 more. And that will be Ava Haddad once again for 2.
And once again, Clarion just doing it on both ends of the court. Brock was the one that got the block on Harrington, got out, able to stop that shot, and then on the other end, Haddad, great drive and great finish.
And now Smith for 3, and that's going to be too strong. Harris to come down with the board, foul called. No good basket there. Winning on the official foul call, and it will be a foul against Allison Kirby of the Golden Eagles. I believe that's going to lead us to a media timeout.
And with that, the score is 42-33 Cal. And like we said, it's just, if you tuned out of the first quarter, you'd be like, oh, the game's over by now. Like, there's no way that this game is anywhere remotely close. But you talked about winning quarters. The Vulcans won the first quarter, but then the second 2 have been entirely won by Clarion. Well, wait a second. We take a look at the PSAC schedule for tonight's games. We have obviously this one, Clarion against California. Then we have the Fighting Scots of Edinburgh taking on Mercier, so another battle towards the top of the PSAC West standings. Then we have Gannon taking on the Rock of Slippery Rock, another closely contested battle. And then we have Seton Hill taking on IUP. So all of those teams in play tonight towards the top of that standings. And I know we have a graphic somewhere, but we can talk about it a little bit. The conference standings for the PSAC West are very congested. It's Gannon up top at 11-3, and then a 4-way tie. I had to count. I was making sure. 4-way tie for second place between IUP, California, Edinburgh, and UPJ. And then 1 game behind them is Mercier, and then 1 game behind them is Seton Hill and Slippery Rock. So it's tight towards the top. It's top. Every game down the stretch is really, really important.
And now Lloyd to inbound this one to Smith. Now Smith going to slow things down a bit and dumps it off to Lloyd once again. Now to Harrington in the corner. Dumps it back to Lloyd to reset back to Harrington. Harrington now for 3. Lips out. And that's going to be Bermudez to come down with it for Clarion. Bermudez waits for her team as they get a play call. And now screen set there. Now double team by California. Kicks it out to Brock. Brock has some room if she wants to take the shot, decides to go into the paint. Smooth move against Harrington. Harrington gets away with the block there. Almost looked like a borderline foul call from up here, but I'll take what we can get at this point. So
yeah, good defense by Harrington. Brock with a nice spin move, but Harrington stayed in front of her the whole time and didn't let that shot be too easy.
Now Harris now following the bounce pass from Lloyd. The looked like it was going to be a lip out, but it will go in the basket. Harris now with 2 more. 44-33 in the TIPPEN Gymnasium here at Clarion University. Bermudez now dumps it off to Haddad, now finding some space on the other side, trying to go up for 2, and they're going to go travel call. No good basket there on Kirby.
And that last basket by Harris broke a pretty decent drought from the Vulcans. Their last basket was with 9 minutes left in this quarter, so almost a 6 minutes without scoring a basket. And like we talked about, that's why Clarion have been in this game. They've been playing great defense after that first quarter that have really hampered the Vulcan offense.
And now Fink trying to get it up for 2. And that might be too good of a defense as a foul is going to be called on the floor, sending the Vulcans to the charity stripe. And Ava Haddad is going to be credited with the foul for Clarion.
It was a great move by Fink underneath the basket, was on that right-hand side, went for the reverse layup with the left, going towards the left-hand side, just going underneath, and Haddad caught her on her way up.
And now Fink at the line for 2 shots. First one is no good. 3:02 left in the third quarter, 44-33. Fink with her second and final shot here, and will get that to go. Now Smith to conduct her offense, going back on the Clarion side of the court. And you can hear the California bench really trying to get their team to build upon their lead here. Smith has it once again. Fink on the defensive end for California. Smith kicks it out to Kirby. Kirby trying to find some spots. Now Bermudez has it in the corner. Bermudez dumps it off, and that's going to be, we're waiting on the official call, and potentially a travel before going out of bounds, but it will remain Clarion possession here. Bermudez to inbound it.
The Vulcans doing a good job at switching and rotating and keeping themselves in front of the Clarion members, but that time just poked it out of bounds and gave Clarion the ball back.
And now Kirby unable to convert as the shot clock winded down. Waiting on the official call here. Clarion wanted a foul against California, but it will be a shot clock violation prior to any foul that happened on the court.
Yeah, Kirby's shot got off but didn't touch the rim at all. It went off the backboard, and that was it. So because of that, shot clock violation called Vulcan basketball.
And now Harris is a little bit in a sticky situation here, able to dump it out to Fink. Fink pulls up for 2, and that will be a foul against Clarion once again. And it will be a foul on Allison Kirby of Clarion, sending Fink back to the line for 2 shots.
And that's going to be Kirby's third. She has 4 points in this game, so one of a few members of Clarion with some scoring so far in this game. So it's going to be important for her to make sure she doesn't pick up any more here as we go into the fourth quarter.
Fink able to convert on one of her shots here, 46-33.
Another double-double for Fink as well, 10 points, and that already had 10 rebounds in that first half as well.
Fink gets her second one to go as well. Now, that will be Smith to cross the timeline here. 2:03 left in the third. Smith trying to find some space in the paint, able to kick it off to the outside. Clarion has it now back to Smith. They're going to reset up in the corner. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Don't want another violation. Smith just throws it up, and that will be no good there as it hung up on the iron, and now Lloyd to take it back the other way.
It looked like it was going to get stuck in between the rim and the backboard there, and I was waiting for one of the Vulcan's men's players to come out and just just poke it out.
That would actually be incredibly funny, as that was no good shot by Fink. Kirby was able to come down with the rebound, but it will be a foul. And it will be a foul against Jordan Smith of California. Still, it looked like it was going to stay on the floor, but they will change it to a shooting foul now.
Yeah, that was the Vulcans' 5th foul of the quarter, so that sends Clarion into the bonus. And because of that, Allison Kirby will head to the line here for the Golden Eagles to shoot 2.
I always say it every game, these free shots are crucial to cutting in to a tight lead. Kirby able to convert on one of her shots here, 47-34 now. That's got to be, Jonathan Sape, can you do a stat search for me? How many minutes since Clarion's last basket, excluding Allison Kirby's 2 shots there?
It's been a while. I mean, there's some good news and bad news of this quarter. The Vulcans have only given up 7 points on defense, so good job from them. But they've only scored 7 points, so it's been a very sloppy quarter by both teams here.
If you like the number 7, you're in the right place. Anyway, we're going to get back to the action here. Sierra Lloyd now passes blocked by the hands of Jada Smith. In now has Sarah Bermudez now has it.
I have an answer for you, by the way.
Oh, I would love your answer.
Their last basket was with 4:46 left in the third quarter, so about 3 minutes ago.
Okay. And now we got 1 minute in regulation here. Smith has it, kicks it out to Kirby. Kirby trying to find some space on that Clarion side. Sarah Lloyd comes with the old bat from behind. Not phased are the Golden Eagles. Bermuda has it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Now a pull up for 3. off the mark. Fight for it once again. Lloyd will come down with it.
Yeah, she had some good form there, like a boxer, just trying to get behind and just punch it out. I saw a clip earlier in the Eagles game where one of the
I was
49ers
just
players
thinking about that.
threw like 3 or 4 punches trying to knock the ball out.
Just
That's what
thinking about that.
Lloyd looked like she was trying to do there.
That's 100% was. As Fink comes down with that one, adding 2 more before going into the 4th. Now shot clock will be turned off as we are in the last remaining seconds in the 3rd corner. Bermudez, to take your time here, definitely does not want to give the ball back to the Vulcans to have any sort of chance on offense before going into the 4th. Smith now playing some pressure defense. Lloyd gets a hand on it. Foul called against, I'm waiting on the official call, and it will be a foul against Jordan Smith of California.
It's going to be Smith's 3rd, and Bermuda's going to go to the line once again. If you like defensive basketball, this has been your quarter. A combined 5 made field goals from both teams, 3 for 10 for California, 2 for 11 from Clarion. And then, the majority of the points, 3 points for California have been scored at the free throw line, and that's going to be the 4th point of the quarter scored at the free throw line for Clarion. So, like I said, if you like defensive basketball, if that's your thing, if you like all of that, then this has been the quarter for you.
Bermuda is able to convert on both of her shots there. 4 seconds left. Can Sierra Lloyd get another buzzer beater? She calls up. Oh, and that one's just going to be right at the basket there. And that is going to send us into the 4th quarter here in TIPPEN Gymnasium, 49-37 in favor of your California Vulcans. Some confusion on the court on if that was a foul. I don't believe this will go in favor of California.
Yeah, it's not as much as confusion as it is frustration. While we have a second being called over. Huge shout out. We made this graphic yesterday. It's my sister's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To my younger sister, Ryan. She turns 19 tomorrow. And I think it's very strange because a lot of the crew here are freshmen, and my sister's older than them, and it makes me feel very strange. So happy birthday, Ryan. Ryan Sabe turning 19 tomorrow.
Big happy birthday,
Groundhog's
Ryan.
Day, so shout out to her.
I feel bad because you have to put up with him more than we do.
What's wrong with me? While we have a second as well, we can talk about Vulcan Village. If you are a California student and you're looking for a place to stay, the Vulcan Village is the place to be. Has everything you could ever want and more. Apply for a tour today, either in person or they have virtual tours as well at vulcanvillage.com to schedule that tour today.
Check it out. They got a bunch of different room plans. Tom and I were talking about them. There's one where you get multiple bedrooms to yourself, I've been told.
Sounds awesome.
I know. I could use another bedroom just to myself.
Just to have it,
Be like, you know what? I want to go
not?
sleep in that room today.
It's like how JJ, his roommate, just coming into the semester, ending the semester, he was there, then he came back and his roommate's gone, so he just has the room to himself for the time being.
That's what I have. It's great. I love it.
I just live in my house because I live 5 minutes away, so I live.
You live at my place of employment.
Yeah,
that's actually true.
The golf course you work at is literally my backyard. So when are you gonna get me on?
We'll figure it out. And we're back underway here in the TIPPEN Gymnasium. Definitely not changing topics, as that shot will be missed by Sierra Lloyd. Kirby to now bring that back the other way for the Golden Eagles. Kicks it off to the outside, trying to find an open lane. That's going to be tipped by Smith before going out of bounds. Possession to the Golden Eagles.
Shout out to the Nemacolin Country Club.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Josh, the whole pro staff crew there. Lovely people. Great place to be. Go check it out. And now Bermudez. What a pass. That was unable to convert. Believe that's going to be Smith to be last touch before going out of bounds, and it will still be Clarion basketball.
It's just one of those ones it's just a heartbreaker. You're wide open underneath the basket. It's right there, and all you have to do is finish it, and she just left it a little bit short.
I believe it's going to be a timeout called for Clarion.
Timeout, Clarion.
To try and really draw up a good play here to cut into that Vulcan lead.
We can take a look at some more third quarter stats as well. Like I talked about, 9-9 the score. So both teams not scoring a whole lot. Like I said, 3 for 10 for California from the field, 2 for 11 for Clarion. And so it was sloppy. 4 turnovers from Cal in that quarter, 3 from the Golden Eagles. And so it was just a very sloppy third quarter, and uncharacteristically sloppy. I can talk. I talk for a living. I got it out.
You're the voice of Vulcan Sports.
I'm trying.
As we're in this timeout, I'd like to give a couple more shout-outs to some various people that I've been told to give shout-outs. You're looking at me with a blank stare, but I've been told to give out some more shout-outs. Shout-out to the whole Gilliard family. Big fans of CUTV.
Gilliard Jackson.
Sure.
Shout out to Coach's Show.
Yes.
I watch.
Okay. So, big shout out to them. Hope you guys are enjoying our coverage here at TIPPEN Arena. Big shout out to my Philadelphia Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Fun fact that I just learned on the way here, Coach Nick Sirianni started as a wide receiver coach at Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
You know who I miss for Cal? I miss Shauna Harrison, so we can shout out Sheffield, England every time.
Oh, we could shout out Sheffield. And we're back underway. Kirby in some trouble, and now she's in a lot of trouble as a travel will be called against her.
And you heard the entirety of the Vulcan bench call it, so I'm pretty sure the referees were like, you know what, that maybe she did travel that time.
You know what? If you complain loud enough, people take note.
Yeah, someone will listen.
And now Lloyd to take it back the other way. Harris with the screen. Lloyd now double team, loses it, and that's going to be Kirby to come back with it.
I'm surprised it wasn't a foul call because Lloyd drew the double team and nearly got kneed in the back there as she was trying to split it.
That's basketball for you. Now we're going to get back on the Clarion side of the court, able to find some space on the outside. Setting a screen is the Golden Eagles. Dumps it out to Bermudez. Bermudez trying to find a spot. Pulls up from where she's at. Nothing but net.
Sierra Bermudez for 3.
Like I talked about earlier, if you just tuned into that first quarter, you would have thought it was the game over. Now, we're a little under 9 minutes left. It's a 9-point game. Clarion have clawed their way back in this one.
Harrington now trying to find something. Bermudez touched it before going out of bounds. It will remain California basketball.
I said another funny thought as well. I wish we had a third camera just on us so you can see the angles that we're standing at to try to see the court, because we have our two camera operators,
over a ledge.
Johnny and Hunter, right in front of us, and they're just two behemoths of people, and they're just like right in the way.
Just imagine like the Kia Soul hamsters. Anyway, Smith has it on the top of the court, dumps it off to Fink. Fink now trying to find a lane to paint. Triple team off the mark with the shot, and Golden Eagles to come down with the board, pass it off to Bermudez. And now going back the other way, Bermudez slowing down the pace of play. 8:18 left here in the fourth. Lloyd on the defensive end for California, able to find a man in the paint is the Golden Eagles. Now Kirby wanted the shot, couldn't take it, kicks it off to the outside. Now for three once again are Clarion off the mark. Smith to fight for the board, and she can't save it from going out, and it will be Clarion basketball.
Yeah, unlucky that time from Smith. She touched it on its way down, so if it went out of bounds, it would have gone off of her. It would have been Clarion ball anyway. As she tried to save it, couldn't quite grip it quite right, and just spun it out instead of throwing it as far as she could, so that it just went out of bounds as well. So either way, she was kind of screwed there.
So Smith has it now at the top of the key, 13 on the shot clock, and now kicks it out to Kirby. Kirby really trying to go with a long-range shot here, but Harrington won't give it up. Now dumps it off to Smith. Screen set, Smith with the pull-up jumper. Off the mark with one on the shot clock. Fink to come down with it.
This could be a huge possession for California. They haven't been scoring a ton of baskets at all in the second half, so they really need to just find one and kind of get that offensive rhythm back.
Now Lloyd has it in the corner by the Vulcan bench here, really taking her time. Finds Harris, bounce pass now to Fink in the paint. Triple team by Fink, and Fink says, no problem, I got it.
Yeah, once again, like you said, you can send 2-3 bodies after, it doesn't matter. She just has such a good post game, and that time with the post fadeaway with a hook shot with the right hand, just throws it off the glass and gets it to go.
Bermudez now taking it back the other way, trying to match the three-point attempt and gets it to go. And the Clarion fans and bench are really getting into the game following that three-pointer by Bermudez. Smith now has it at the key from the pass from Lloyd. Long-range pass to Harrington. Kirby gets there in time to prevent the three, just short of the three-point line. Lips out from Harrington, fight for the board, and that will be a foul called in favor of Clarion.
And Bermudez, since that first quarter, it's been all her. 14 points for her, 4 for 6 from 3. So just like Harrington, you can't leave her open like that. Bermudez will knock it down. 3 steals, a block, 2 assists, 2 rebounds as well, or 3 rebounds, excuse me, in this game for Sierra Bermudez. So the California Vulcans need to keep her in check.
And that foul will go against Alicia Harris as it's back on the Clarion side of the court here. Bermudez bounce pass now, trying to find a man in the paint. Smith gets a hand on it, can't stop the basket for Ava Haddad for Clarion.
And once again, Haddad just got great positioning inside. And once that ball's floating around in the air, just trying to kind of juggling, and Haddad comes down with it, she's going to be able to win that fight to get that basket every time.
Now Lloyd really trying to get something going here. Dumps it off to Fink. Fink passes it back to Harrington. Harrington's going to slow things down and back to Lloyd. 10 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to Fink. Extra pass to Smith as 7 rains down. That's going to be wide of the mark. And now Harrington comes up with it and gets it to go for a 2-pointer.
Harrington's been pretty cold since that first initial burst of points. It's only her first basket made since that first quarter, and exactly what the Vulcans needed. The 3 by Smith a little bit too strong. With only 5 on the shot clock, Harrington got a beautiful shot up and was able to make it.
And now that's going to be Jada Smith taking her time here, and they're going to call it against Clarion, going back the other way for California.
Number 25 for the Golden
It
Eagles.
will be Heba Dad credited with the foul.
Number 1.
And the referee was very animated about it. He goes, push, and just so we know what happened. It was a push by Haddad.
Coach Cooper for the Golden Eagles understandably not happy with that call on the court as Lloyd takes it back the other way. Fink now trying to get something cooking here. Dumps it off to Harris. Harris off the mark, hits the side of the basket. Smith to come down with it for the Eagles. Leading the charge back the other way. Decides to put off as she's going to go down hard on the court. And we're probably going to have a stoppage play here.
Yeah, that's the second time where she's gone down pretty hard. On that N1 earlier on in that third quarter, took a heavy spill to the floor, was able to get back up, and took another one there. And once again, she's able to get back up. So hopefully everything's all right with her. I think she's going to stay in the game. It's very tough from her. And like I said, hopefully everything's all right.
We will get things back underway. California possession following the missed shot there. It appears that everyone should be all good, which is always nice to see as Fink is able to pull up for 2 and gets it to go as well.
Yeah, Fink just found good positioning in between 2 members of the Golden Eagles right around that free throw line, received that pass from Lloyd, and just turned straight around and able to knock down another shot.
Now Kirby to Bermudez. Bermudez matches it with a 3-pointer of her own right.
And she's just on, that's 17 now for her, tied with Fink to lead all scorers in the game. And like I talked about, you can't leave her open. That's her 5th 3 of the game.
55-48, 4:23 left in this game. Fink has it at the top of the key, jumps it off to Lloyd. Lloyd with the long range 3, and that's going to be too strong there. Fight for the board will be Clarion. Conley able to rebound that, leading now the charge on the other side, playing some heavy defense for California. Off the mark shot from the Golden Eagles, and that'll be Lloyd taking it back the other way.
Looks like Coach Strom going to take a timeout. That'll stop the clock with just exactly 4 minutes left. The Vulcans up 55-48, so only a 7-point lead going into this timeout. And while we have a second, we can take a look at the upcoming schedule here for the Vulcans women's basketball. Obviously, today's game versus the Golden Eagles. Then on the weekend, we'll face school number 3 of the Penn West Trio as they'll take on the Fighting Scots of Edinburgh before hosting 2 games in a row between the Rock of Slippery Rock and the Gannon Golden Knights before traveling away to the Mercyhurst Lakers in a few weeks' time and then hosting the Seton Hill Griffins. And then after that, there's only a few more games left, so the Vulcans, like every single game is important. And like we talked about, Clarion is last in the PSAC West, only 3 wins in conference, but you can tell that like this conference is super competitive. I mean, a team that's in last place putting up a dogfight of a game against Cal, who's tied for second.
There's no sleepers in this
conference.
conference.
There's no sleepers. Even like I said, even though this isn't the season that they would have wanted, that Clarion would have wanted. Really struggling, but they've beaten some good teams. Their last win was against UPJ.
I was going to say, I believe last week the Rock from Slippery Rock upset at IUP.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just, it's like we talked about, that top 8 of the conference are all within 3 games of each other.
Yeah,
so this
it's wild.
This second round of games between all these teams, every game gets more and more important because we've seen so far that anyone can beat anyone, and that's scary for if you're a team like California where you're expected to get a win here.
Now Smith has it from Lloyd. Lloyd back at it at the top of the key. They're going to reset. Lloyd trying to find some space. Double team now. Fink is wide open, trying to find some space off. Bermudez able to get a hand on it, and it will be out against Clarion, so it will remain Vulcan basketball.
I think very lucky. I thought maybe she was going to get called for either travel or double dribbles. She had a surprised look on her face, but it did go out. But the Vulcans only have 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Smith has it, trying to get a shot off, and that will be a foul called no good basket anyway. And that will be going against Clarion. Coach Cooper understandably not happy with that call once again. The foul will be against Sierra Conley for the Golden Eagles, sending Smith to line for 2. Smith able to convert on her first one.
I just remembered another shout-out that we had to make.
Oh, what's the other one?
Shout out our SID, Matt Kiefer,
Oh,
his
yeah.
son Luca, who are back home watching the game and enjoying this one. Didn't have
Such
to
a
make the
very,
drive up here.
very funny photo.
Very funny, a very cute photo of him and his son watching on the laptop at home.
We're going to get back underway following the Smith foul shots, 57-48. Another thing to mention, if you weren't tuned into the UPJ game last week, Coach Strong became the 9th winningest coach in the PSAC conference with 250 wins. And now this is going to be Clarion basketball off the mark for 3. That will be Harris to come down with it. Just over 3 minutes left in this game as Lloyd takes it back the other way. Bounce pass to Harrington. Harrington tries to do it all herself. Going to back off here as Harris comes in to help set the screen. Give and go now to Lloyd. Lloyd able to get another one.
Sierra Lloyd.
Yeah, that time just a good drive by Lloyd. Took the played a little bit of a give and go with Harrington, and then just had the red carpet runway, just unfiltered, untouched, straight to the basket.
Smith has it now back on the Clarion side. She finds some room, tries to go up for 2. That's going to be off the mark. They do get the board, though. Double team coverage stolen away by Sierra Lloyd. Sierra Lloyd now going back the other way. She's going to slow down the pace of play here. 2:33 left in this game. 59-48. California has it in their sights here. Now that's Lloyd, pull-up jumper, way too long there. Bermudez to come down with it for the Golden Eagles. Bermudez, long pass now, and that'll be 2 more that'll be 2 more points for Ava Haddad.
Yeah, that time the Vulcans just did not get back on defense in time. Lloyd missed that shot a little bit too long on her mid-range jumper, and then the Vulcans a little bit lazy getting back on defense. So good find by Bermudez in transition.
Now pass from Lloyd to Smith. Now another pass, Harrington to Lloyd. Lloyd tried to get the shot off, couldn't get it. Now Harris is going to fight for it under the basket. Jump ball called, and that will favor possession to Clarion.
Yeah, once again, unfortunate from Lloyd. Went for that extra pass again, tried to find Smith, and I don't think Smith was quite ready for it as it bounced a little bit too short of her outreached hands, and Smith able to get on top of it, force that jump ball, but possession arrow favoring Clarion. The Vulcans need to get a stop here. 9-point lead for them. The game's not quite over. It looks like Coach Cooper and the Golden Eagles are going to take a timeout.
It is 59-50 in favor of California. 1:41 left in this game. The Golden Eagles are definitely down, but they are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, absolutely not. And we've seen the kind of defense they played in the second half. It's been spectacular. They've kept the Vulcans in check after that first quarter. And it's got to be on the Vulcans to make sure that they don't let up these shots. So far, it's been Bermudez. Bermudez has been the killer for the Golden Eagles. She's been the one that has kept them in this game, has been knocking down shot after shot after shot. So it's going to be on California to make sure that someone else has to do it. I mean, Haddad, they're going to be okay with Haddad maybe making a shot or 2 inside, just those 2-point layups, but they need to make sure that Bermudez isn't left any space around the 3 because she's knocked down all of them.
She's also just an absolutely dynamic force on defense, getting multiple blocks and stops against the California Vulcans. We're going to get back underway. Possession will be on Clarion. And Bermudez has it at the top of the queue here. Smith coming in hot, trying to steal it, and that will be a foul called against her, sending Bermudez to the line.
Yeah, Bermudez smartly nearly loses it and just chucks it up as she felt the contact, but that time just inside the free throw line, so it's only going to be 2 free throws. And I can look at her stat line here in this game. 17 points, can add 2 more here at the line. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, 5 for 7 from 3. I mean, that's where she's really made her money today.
First one is good for Bermudez. Second one from the layup line. And another thing to note, that was Smith's 4th foul. Not too much time left, but there is a risk, obviously, of fouling out. And now it will go back the other way as she's able to convert on the second one. And that will be an interesting pass from Lloyd to Fink. Fink trying to find some space. Gonna reset and kick it out to Sierra Lloyd. Lloyd now trying to find some space of her own. Harris comes in, sets the screen. Lloyd triple team blocked. Foul called. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 1:12 left in the game.
The Golden Eagles upset about a double dribble call because that dribble from Lloyd got pretty high. I mean, it was in the territory of being called a double dribble or a carry. But Lloyd, lucky to escape that one, able to get the drive, able to force the contact to be made, and ends up at the line.
Lloyd misses her first attempt here. The agony on my co-host's face.
Like I always mention, shout out Coach Bauer, my basketball coach in middle school. They're free points. You have to make the free throws. They are literally free points. That's all he said.
Unable to convert, but they do get the board, so that is helpful in terms of eating up clock. 14 seconds left on the shot clock, just over a minute, and Harrington's able to get the pass off. Now we're less than a minute into the game. Lloyd has it now in the corner here. Lloyd double teamed, able to dump it off to Fink. Fink gets a shot off in front of the buzzer. Bermudez to now rebound that one and send it back the other way. They really need to push the pressure here. Bermudez can't convert on the pass. Fink to steal it away. Now Fink now barreling down the other court. 34 seconds left. There is a shot clock. And now Lloyd's going to try and eat up as much clock as possible. Bermudez is coming in to put the pressure on her early and call the foul there.
Yeah, Bermudez reaching in, forcing the foul to try to send Lloyd to the line to get the ball back. But I think they waited way too long. I mean, there's a minute and you're only down by 7. And it's kind of seemed like the rest of the players on the court kind of threw in the towel a little bit. I think they kind of just admitted that after that offensive possession, it was kind of over. So they just allowed the Vulcans to waste as much time. And since that wasn't their 5th foul, the Vulcans get to inbound again.
And you can see that Coach Cooper is calling for his team to stop the clock a little early.
Yeah, it's just not great court awareness by anyone on the Golden Eagles. Like I said, after that possession where Bermudez turned it over, trying to find Haddad inside. The rest of them kind of just came back, and they're like, all right, well, this is over. I mean, we're down by 7. There's not enough time left. And you heard Cooper on the sideline just calling, like, you got to foul, you got to foul. But they just waited too long, and so the Vulcans were able to waste 40 seconds off the clock.
Harrington converts on both shots, building onto that California lead now to 9 points. Now, Clarion will be calling a timeout following Harrington's shots. I'm going to assume they're probably going to move the ball up.
Yeah, they'll move the ball. That was their last timeout as well, so they have no more after that one because they took a few earlier on. And so because of that, they have no opportunity to try to draw up anything out of possession, try to figure out how they're going to defend this. So this is where they got to get their money's worth out of that timeout. They got to come up with some sort of scheme. They want to score 9 and 22 and a half. I mean, it's
possible.
It's doable. It's very tough.
Not, I would say unlikely, but I wouldn't say impossible.
It's like a 99% chance.
Remember our stats at IUP when you said you need at least like 3 seconds, I think, or
you mean 0.3.
0.3 of a second.
Shout out Derek Fisher.
Yes, you need 0.3 of a second to get a shot off.
So you're able to just do that over and over again.
We were trying to do some math on air, which obviously is not a good idea for us.
I mean, that's why I'm going to be a social studies teacher, not a math teacher, you know?
See, I'm going to be a golf teacher.
Hey, I mean, you've won, all right? You won the game of life. We get it. You got like a 3.9 GPA. You already talked about, you're like, I'm way smarter than you. We get it, Addie, all right?
I don't know how this turned into this.
It happens.
I did remember the volleyball game where I publicly called you a theater major.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm a minor.
We're back to the action. Bermudez has it. 18 on the clock here, and Bermudez's shot is no good. Able to get the board. Fink gets a hand on it. No foul called. They will keep playing. Smith now to rebound that one, and now that's going to be Kirby able to get 3 more.
It's what you want, but it's just too little, too late. As there's only 5 seconds left, the Vulcans able to pass around it and wind the clock down.
And the applause is already starting from the California bench. Now we are at 0-0. It will be your California Vulcans bringing home the W, 61-55. Make sure to stay tuned. The men's game will tip off in about 20 to 30 minutes. You're watching CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and listening to WCAL 91.9, Power 92, California, Pennsylvania.